that's already a thing.
But the thing is, if you allow yourself to be lied to, then that's your limitation. It's not the thing's limitations. And
do you think they'll ever see us? The machines will ever see us as unnecessary, though? What if the machines?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you think they'll have a consciousness and they'll realize, well, we have to? Because if we program them, because right now this is a problem that I have, is that we don't look at the world as being self-sustaining. We look at it like we're the dominant, species, and we have to mingle in everything.
Yes.
Anything that goes wrong is our fault, and anything that goes wrong we can also fix because we're humankind. And sometimes a fucking tornado happens, and it's just fucking nature, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're helpless. Sometimes Mother Nature will remind us, but like a lot of people don't want to think that way. They want to believe that we're the dominant species, and they want to believe it so badly that they will do anything, even if it's wrong. Like what if global warming isn't really a thing? What if it's not really a threat? We program machines to believe it is, and then in response to this, they end up wiping out half of humanity off the face of the earth to protect the earth.
Well, look at it this way.
Do you know what I mean?
The logic of a machine is true and false. So it works on true and false, true and false, true and false.
Right. So if humankind is a threat to the earth, and it's just producing exponentially, then I must kill all humans, right? You know what I mean?
You don't kill them. You just the same way you would do with a nest, of wasps, say, in your garage. You just clean your garage.
Humankind. Which one, Colin? Oh shit! You guys are not my friends. I forget. I'm a Viet Cong. I get mixed up. That's why I do my team kills, because I see a Viet Cong and I'm like, oh shit, the Viet Cong. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So you're basically you're basically not murdering, you're cleaning your garage. Or when you move to a new property and you have bed bugs or whatever, you try and eradicate them without thinking it's murder. You just think, okay, it's a problem, I'm taking care of it. So if you create a self-learning AI, something that will resemble a god compared to us, because it will be magnitude of millions smarter than any human mind. It will basically look at it this way. At one point, if it feels like, oh, actually this is getting in the way, it will just take it away. It won't be bad or good. It will be like, is it getting in the way or not? I'm just gonna do what I think. But the thing is, first of all, when such a thing is designed and created, it will be contained, in the sense that it will not be able to move around freely and do its thing. It will be contained in whatever system it's designed. So it's not going to be attached to some super powerful war machine, nor will it have access to any. It will just analyze things, and again, it will think in such a way that will not resemble human thinking. So we wouldn't know when it's fully conscious of its whatever. I don't know why. I mean, many people think, well, it's going to act like a human being. It's never going to be like a human being.
No.
Like even if we give it voice and call it Anna or whatever. Why am I talking about Anna? Yeah, even if we do that, it will still be just true and false, 01, 01, 01.
Family Guy. This is good. The name of in the King movie. Family Guy.
Yeah.
Call me Anna, anatomical nuance android. You
Whatever,
may call me
yeah.
Anna.
Yeah, that's sci-fi from 20, 30 years ago. It has no basis in factual reality. Although they're doing it. You see a lot of in Japan especially, it's very popular, trying to build lifelike dolls and robots and so on that sound like humans. Do have facial expressions and so on, but that's not AI. It's amazing, but it's bloody limited compared to what could eventually be created, and again, that thing will be contained in a supercomputer. So it will not look at things as good and bad. It will just
Right.
Yeah.
It's like if you had a child.
Yeah. It won't be a child.
Well, no, because children know the difference between right and wrong.
It will be beyond that.
Yeah, and just to clarify, because somebody mentioned something about it. Yeah, humankind meddling and everything is also like, because it's kind of like we have an inferiority complex where we have to be like, we are the dominant species, and therefore, I don't know, it's almost like we assume that anything that happens is something to do with us, or that we're a threat to the Earth, because it's almost like assuming that is also assuming our own superiority. Like, does that make sense? Does that make sense to you, Br1ght?
Well, it's limiting again. I think it's almost a full answer, but I think there is more to it. Like, if you feel like you can do something about it, you just go ahead and do it. You just do it, and
there's that. But I also feel like accepting that it's your fault and that you can do something about it. Like, let's say global warming, right? Like, it's our fault. Yeah. We can do something about it. Yeah. I feel like that is better than the cold hard truth that, you know what? Maybe we're all just on this giant ball that's kind of, you know, spinning in time, and there's not shit we can do about anything. We're just along for the ride. You know what I mean? Well, I think the first one is easier for people to digest than the second response. You know what I mean? I think it's difficult. I think that's a difficult truth.
Because, well, let me put it this way: that thought experiment, we have only one attempt at it, basically.
Well, what about this though? Okay, if you look back in 2012. We came so close to getting hit with a solar flare that would have EMP'd the entire Earth. Like, yes. Can you imagine all electronics getting wiped out at one time?
It would be amazing.
It would be
China.
Global warming has, let's assume that, even assuming it's absolutely true, right? Like, let's just assume that has very little effect compared to what an EMP over the entire Earth would do to us. It would be The Walking Dead, okay, within like a couple weeks.
The thing is, with global warming, the effects will be, you know, they're gradual. They'll take, you know, gradual.
But
the effects will be.
The point is, the effects, like, we're all gonna die, and we're all gonna run around in spacesuits outside because we can't walk out without, you know, sun protection or whatever. Let's say that. But what I'm trying to say, worst possible fucking case scenario imaginable for, let's say, a global warming scenario, cannot amount to people eating each other because there's no food. That's what I'm trying to say here. With going hungry for 2 weeks, you will actually eat another human being. That's just how it is.
No, I agree with you.
But what I'm saying is, the point is, though, that whole thing with the solar flare was not talked about at all. Most people don't even know about it, and not to mention, that's kind of the point. Is number one, I think it really wasn't talked about because it wasn't promoted because there's nothing we can do about it. Number one.
Yes.
So therefore, number one, it's not an easy thing to take, and therefore, I mean, what would it do besides cause panic, right? And then number two, you can't tax it.
That's true.
I mean, that's just the reality, and that's the thing with that's why this whole global warming or global cooling or climate change, now it's climate change, you know, excuse me, right? Like, let's just change the name. So now, like, we went from global warming to global cooling to just kind of deciding, hey, you know what? The climate changes. Really? No fucking shit. Of course it does. It changes every like, when I look at my phone app and the weatherman can tell me, like, exactly what the weather's going to be like. When I can go a year without looking at my, like, even a month, where they're going to, like, you know what? There's going to be thunderstorms tonight. Dude, it didn't even fucking rain. This is like the other day. Oh, there's gonna be thunderstorms on this day. It didn't even fucking rain. Are you kidding me? They're clear blue skies. It was like one of the most amazing days this week. You're gonna tell me that we don't have the technology to tell me what's gonna happen this week, but we somehow understand what's gonna happen 10 years from now? I don't fucking buy it. I just don't, man. I really don't. And I understand. But that's the thing is, that's me. Is I look at the little things because little things lead to big things. That's just how it is. You know what I mean?
I actually don't look at the weather myself, but I'll put it this way.
Well, you should, man. If you're sold on the whole global warming thing, look at the weather every fucking day, and you look at how accurate it is and is not, and then tell me what you think.
No. Why I just said that is because you see, again,
But it takes a level of humility to accept that, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't know everything, and maybe we need to we're still learning, and that's okay. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. I don't know everything. I'm totally cool with that. It's kind of like, you go ahead and say your bit. I don't want to. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, I'm actually trying to form a sentence that will make any sense.
Okay.
I'll put it this way. The reason why I don't look at the weather day to day, and I could hardly care about it, is because, you know, I mean, I'm 30 years plus of age, and I know what you just said is absolutely true, where, you know, people say it's going to be one type of weather, but then something else is happening something else is occurring altogether.
Yeah, well, it's like, I don't remember their name, but somebody came in your channel, and you know, they're obviously smart, but they were self-educated. You could just kind of tell. That's where real smarts, you know, that's where real intelligence comes from. Anybody can go through a course and be taught something and just regurgitate it. That doesn't take intelligence. But he was basically talking about how there's actually ways that we've looked at where plastic actually dissolving in the ocean. Now, how that is, I think there has to be a lot more studying on that. But also, in Chernobyl, you know, Chernobyl, of course, is very radiated. And there's basically a fungus that is adapted to where it actually lives off of radioactive material. Like, that's how this fungus thrives. Something that would absolutely give us cancer and kill us. There's something in nature. We would think, oh, well, because a nuclear explosion is not natural. It's completely 100% unnatural. So therefore, nuclear activity will kill everything on Earth. Well, that's not true. There's a mushroom that eats radioactive material. Like, you know what I mean? So that's, like, we're not really a threat to the Earth. The Earth will do what it's always done. For the people of the future, someone should be concerned. Either way, in many aspects of life, people are concerned they will take the time to learn more to find the answers. Oh no, I mean, I agree, sorry. No, like, I don't want to give the wrong impression, because the thing is, and this is what I hate though, the stereotypical thing about if you're skeptical at all about global warming, you know, if the thought isn't that you should be taken out back and shot or whatever. The other thought is that you don't, like, don't get me wrong, I'm 100% for, I believe in respect, okay? I absolutely believe in respect, and no matter what, like, even if you don't think if you think I'm from another world, like, you know, like, we're all on the same planet, you know what I mean? Like, just because our ideas are different does not mean we're not on the same planet. It doesn't mean that I think that you should have a total disregard for anything. It doesn't mean, like, I recycle. I absolutely recycle. Like, recycling actually costs more money. I still see the use in it. And then I see so many people that...
Why is somebody voting to kick you out of the thing?
I don't know.
Jack, put the squad title down for us, man.
That's weird.
Oh, because I'm not putting a title down. I don't know how.
That's weird. I mean, I voted no. No, where I was going with the whole sentence is this. Yeah, I don't read newspapers. I don't watch news. I could care less for that. Because I would not do the research to check into every news and every tidbit I check on the internet. Because I know I just won't do it. It's you know, I willingly remain ignorant because I just cannot keep up with it, even if I wanted to. Also, if I'm not going to do anything about it, I kind of maybe don't want to know.
Well, I'm just saying, not you specifically, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people. It's just like Bill Nye was actually talking to. I mean, he's basically been interviewed and has stated, like, because he was asked a question, like, are you against people being thrown into prison for basically being, they're calling it climate change deniers, right?
Yeah.
Would you be for or against people being thrown in prison? And he's like, well, you know, I don't really have a problem. Like, he just kind of, he was open-minded about it, but you can tell, like, he's totally open to the option. That's insanity to me. That's fascism. Like, are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me? We're creating a cult of this. Like, this is insane. Like, as long as okay, here's the thing. As long as I can serve, as long as I'm a conservative person, because I'm just conservative by nature. I love being efficient in all things. If I conserve, if I recycle, and if I respect the planet in general, what's the problem? You know what I mean? Just because I don't necessarily agree with your philosophy doesn't mean that I'm a piece of shit. Like, goddamn, dude. It's just like, that's like me saying, oh, because you're not a Christian, you have no moral values at all. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.